Hello and welcome back. I am being joined by HasuObs, the one and only. Hasu, it's so nice of you to have you here. Finally, I get to talk to you. Didn't have the chance to do that in Miami. Congratulations on your win. How does it feel to be here on the home soil of Berlin?
It feels amazing, right? Like, obviously the team is different than in Miami or the previous tournaments because we had to like rescuffle and make a full German team. But yeah, my teammates all of them are insanely good, and playing here on stage, seeing like the crowd and how many people show up, or a lot of them with Team Germany shirts, it feels really good. I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah, you of course have your whole fan army right behind you. Speaking of the team, you guys are probably the team that has to do the most role swaps in total. How did that work out? How was the role distribution going? And how do you feel like it's worked out in terms of like comms and how everyone is handling the game?
Yeah, so when we established the team, we had 4 range carries and Death Knight who could either play tank or support, but mostly support. So I was talking to Dino. We suggested a few things here and there, like what kind of roles we should do. But we figured out that me offlane, Nick tank, and Death Knight support, and then Uli and Dino on range is the best. But obviously Nick had to agree on that, right? Because tank is basically the hardest role to play, but also very impactful. It's very important to have a confident tank. And luckily in the past, Nick has already played some tanks with Washed Up as well, like with our team, the previous iteration. So he was up for it, and yeah, ever since then, like we've been practicing on those roles. We did a lot of scrims, and I think we found our rhythm actually. Yeah, it seems to be very good synergy in the team.
Yeah, I mean, very strong performance. Just 3-0'd Sweden, completely walked over them. So I got a question from Twitch chat asking like, how do you guys make the call to react to and engage? I think it was specifically about the last game where you were playing double support. If Sweden engages here with the Anubarak, what's the call for the counter engage like? And what would set up a situation where you just call for a retreat?
So in that game, I think the only thing that saves them is the Crystal Aegis from Auriel, right? So once we get that out, we can either kill someone else or wait for the Aegis to expire. And we have Taunt as a setup, we have Leap as a setup, and then we have Uli and Dino both playing a Burst Mage, Orphea and Liming. So they can actually go on 2 different targets, which happen pretty often, like Uli was flanking. And I think the biggest threat that they have is like Anubarak stun into Junkrat Trap into mine, on Varian maybe, because then White Mane struggles to keep him alive. Other than that, I think we should win most of the fights. And in terms of communication, I mean, Dino is shot calling, right? He's drafting and shot calling for the team. I mean, we all give input, but he's the main shot caller in terms of where to rotate, where to fight, and so on. And in the flow of the fight, I mean, everyone is feeding information, right? So if I see I get a good leap, I will call it out. And prior to the fight, we usually say, we either taunt the first guy that we see, right? And force them to use the Aegis, or like, we taunt him, but we don't use everything, so we can go on someone else as well at the same time. So that's like the general plan, but not always the plan is going to come through, right? Because they are also playing their game.
Yeah, exactly. Was that the game plan from the start? Because of course, yeah, as you said, like Ariel pretty much just doesn't have an answer past Crystal Aegis. Was that the plan from the start to then go for a double burst comp?
Yeah, so I think Dino had last pick, and we were discussing a few options. We actually wanted Imperious, but they picked it away. So yeah, we ended up with Orphea, and yeah, I mean, Dino is really good on that hero as well, right? You don't really see it that much in the current meta, but in Meta Madness format, once a few heroes are out, even like someone like Orphea can really shine. Like she's actually very strong at some point. And yeah, I think it was a very good last pick for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So one more question that we got from Twitch chat is, you are playing without your signature beanie. Does this unleash your full potential?
Yeah, I was hoping that I get some Super Saiyan spikes now when I'm on stage. No, honestly, I mean, it's really warm at the moment. And I already played in Miami without beanie, so it's, you know, you got to unlock it. In Miami, it didn't help me out. We actually dropped out pretty early. But here so far, thumbs up.
Yeah, amazing. So you're seeing a lot of people here from, well, we have a lot of people here currently from the old HCC scene. I just saw a glimpse of Chris Heroes. Dark Mock was here with me yesterday on the couch as well. They are so happy to see you. How is it for you that you're still playing, you're sitting on that stage, and they are sitting in the crowd?
Yeah, it's amazing actually. On Thursday when we arrived, I also had the chance to meet up with Nomi, which like back in the day he was doing HCC stuff. And I also met Whitera and his family. They are living in Berlin these days. For the StarCraft viewers, they probably remember him. So yeah, it feels like, yeah, I love it actually. It's been great. And you know, Chris coming by, even though he's commentating in Pokemon Unite, but he's gonna watch some games here. Darkmock actually coming by, watching the whole weekend. Like, I think it's great. Yeah, and. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's really cool to see that Heroes of the Storm can provide an event like this, you know?
Yeah. What would you say is the best thing about Heroes as a game?
It's like fast-paced action, right? So you don't have to wait too long to get into the action, and unless you're stuck in Stormly Q, but let's forget about that. But yeah, it's like it's very own game, right? It is a MOBA, but it's very different from League and Dota. It has like its own niche, and like if you're into that, I think it's the most fun to play actually. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, if I can ask that to anyone, it's you, right? You're the absolute specialist, and you've played in multiple esports. Last question for me: would you say that Berlin is the esports capital of Europe, so to say? We have the LEC studio here. Now we are here today with Inexperion, with this fantastic event. So how do you feel about that?
I mean, there's probably a lot of venues that are very good. I think Berlin is a good spot. Cologne in Germany is actually a good spot. But then I know that I mean, all over Europe, you're gonna have tournaments, right? Like we were in Paris, Stockholm. I think I've been many times. So, but yeah, I mean, Berlin is very central, I'd say. The venue here, I think, is great for the purpose that we have here, like for this tournament. So yeah, I think I like it actually. It was a good choice.
That's good to hear. Thank you so much, Hasu, for your time. Any shout-outs that you want to make before we send it back to the casters?
Yeah, thanks for the interview. Shout out to Twitch chat. And, you know, everyone that is hanging out in the audience. And make sure to cross your fingers for the grand final. Whoever makes it through, right? Sweden versus NA is going to be a banger as well.
Absolutely. And don't forget, Twitch chat, you can also submit questions for me to ask to the players by using your channel points on Calder's Twitch channel. Now we'll take it back to the casters shortly. Thank you very much.